The weather this time of year in the South, perfect. Fall football weather. And we've got the roof wide open here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in the heart of Georgia. Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. They'll run. It's Kenneth Walker. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. You talk about this Seahawk defense. They're in the spot statistically that you don't want to be in against the pass. Number 32 in the league, dead last.
That was a nice play right there, but overall this season, it's been an absolute disaster. A total lack of communication on the back end. They need a leader who can put this team, this unit, on his shoulder pads and carry them to the right spots.
And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 14 yards there and a Falcon first down. From the gun, it's Walker. Devontae Wyatt there for the stop. The Falcons sitting at a very solid 4-2 record through the first 6 weeks. They come in losers of 2 straight, so trying to turn things around here.
And you just mentioned 2 straight, and when you're talking about 2 games, that's nothing to panic about. They feel like they've been a little bit unlucky in the last couple. This is a club that's more than capable of turning things around, and I expect them to play really well here.
Ball placed at the 45 for 2nd and 5. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And this will be a Falcons first down as the tackle made at about the 43-yard line.
They did tell us they wanted to establish the ground game early, didn't they?
They did, and a small sample size that we've seen so far, but pretty good return.
Yeah, you got to like that. They've strung together a couple of first downs, established what they wanted, the running game. And guess what? They also got their lead guy running it pretty well, too.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 43. Jackson now. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Sam Hubbard making his presence felt in the backfield. But defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards?
Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football as they force the turnover on the opening drive. So far this season, this defense has had their issues against the pass, so that's a great sign for them to get the early pick.
Yeah, confidence builder for them and an absolute shock for the quarterback because he went into it. He saw the numbers we saw. He watched them on tape. I think he came into this one thinking this is going to be a big day, and it very well could be. But early in this one, advantage defense.
Here we go. Go.
They'll run. This is Jonathan Taylor. And he stopped immediately there. Tackle there going to Marshawn Lattimore. You don't see that a ton, do you? A cornerback coming over to the middle of the field to make a run tackle.
That's someone with a ton of confidence to feel like nothing is pressuring him on his side of the field. Sees that the ball's moved to the middle and just sprints over there to help out. He ends up getting the tackle. Well played.
A play fake, now Fields to throw. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. About this Falcon defense. They've certainly had their struggles against the run. The 30th ranked unit out of 32 teams in the NFL.
And when people talk about facing a challenge, they are certainly getting one in this ball game because they're facing the #1 rushing unit in the NFL, which means this is going to be a contest they've got to be prepared for from the first snap.
On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. He's got it at the 15. And he just falls short down at the 1-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
That's how you put field position. What a play right there. That nearly went the distance. Credit this defense for not giving up. They get him down just short of the goal line, but the damage is done. It's going to be 1st and goal from an ideal position.
First and goal, a chance to convert that early turnover into points.
Here we go.
Taylor will score. Touchdown, Seattle.
And the thing you have to love about Jonathan Taylor, he's a shifty speed guy most of the time when you hand him the football, but he's not coming off the field when you get down near the goal line because he's as tough and gritty as they come. And he finishes things off here by getting into the end zone.
Riley Patterson now for the extra point. And this will give the Seahawks a 7-0 lead. 7-0 is our score. Ready for the dynamic kickoff as this one's away. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. They threw an interception the first time they had the football. Wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others. Where they think they have an advantage, dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
T.J. Watt, always a disruptor, there to blow that play up. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And able to use his blockers to get this up over the 40. That's what they needed. It's an 8-yard gain, and now 3rd and 4 suddenly doesn't look so bad.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down. From the gun, Jackson. He's going to get that to his running back out of the backfield. Down to the 10. Touchdown, Falcons. Ken Walker, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Falcons are within an extra point of tying up this ball game. Point after, right down the middle. And we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. Escapes the defender. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And they are back down to 500 following the loss last week. Consistency has been a real issue for them so far.
Brandon, you almost don't know what team is going to show up every week. I mean, there's no consistency with this ball club at all, and if we feel that way, I know it frustrates the coaching staff, and it also has to frustrate the key leaders in the locker room. They got to figure out how to get coordinated.
And from the 34, here's 2nd and 4.
we go. All right.
They go to the ground again with Taylor. And this defense able to plug him up there as he'll get a yard to the 35.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they have the goods.
Here we go.
Now Fields. Eluding, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Alex Anzalone drops him for a loss of 10, and it's going to be 4th and long.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Seahawk football here to start quarter number 2, as they've got it with a 4th down coming up. Now a man who did his collegiate punting just a couple hours from here in Clemson in South Carolina, Bradley Pinion to kick. This is taken at the 18. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. Drop behind the line on a nice play by Deion Jones.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
Jackson. That's complete. It's Brandon Ayuk. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. It's his first catch, and it'll be good for 15 and a 1st down.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory. 45 yards rushing for him now to this point.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
In motion goes the tight end. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
But, partner, if the defense isn't going to adjust and they keep giving them those 5, 6, 7-yard runs over and over, they're likely to run it the whole way to the end zone. They'll be more than happy to take the yardage available and save some of their other plays in the playbook for another time.
Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. T.J. Watt causing the disruption. He gets the sack. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Out of the gun, Walker with it. They get 6 yards back on the run, but still have a 3rd and long situation forthcoming.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. What do they have for this? 3rd and 11. Jackson. That's complete to the rookie from Michigan. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 25-yard line. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on 3rd down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Walker now on 1st and 10. And he'll be taken down after a short gain as that takes us to the 2-minute warning.
Quick, ready? You at X. You at X.
Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
That's a nice job there, foiling what all offenses try to do, which is control the defensive end in the running game. They want to get to the outside, and if he keeps himself free, stays on his feet, he can make a play just as he did there.
Tough spot here. 3rd down and 11. Throwing is Jackson. And that will be incomplete.
How about this defense? They came up with a couple of big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one right there, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
Bates' kick is good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
And he's going to get this across the 20 as he's out of bounds at the 23. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And you figure, Charles, they have enough time here in the first half, more than a minute, to put a drive together, at least get them in position to try a field goal.
Yeah, they've got all 3 timeouts at their disposal, so I'm actually thinking bigger. With those 3 timeouts, that amount of time on the clock, I'm thinking about trying to get a touchdown and settle for a field goal.
Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
A vintage run there, because when the chains move with him, they move quickly. No secret that Taylor's one of the most electric playmakers in the league whenever he's on the field. Always a threat to go the distance.
And he is going to lose yardage here. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's 2nd down. From the gun, here's Fields. That's complete. It's Neighbors. His 2nd catch, and this one not nearly as electrifying as his first. And it'll bring up 3rd down now.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down.
Easy. Here we go.
To throw is Fields. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
One first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
So on now is the Clemson man, Bradley Pinion, to punt this one away. This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. And they'll play keep away from the returner as this one will be marked out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Pretty good spot. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And leading 10-7, they may just want to get this to the locker room. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. 23 yards on the play. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme, and you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defense.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Down the sideline he goes. Wow, a big mistake there. Late interception in this first half, and that could lead to a field goal try the other way.
Yeah, I think at this point you just had to say, let's take a knee and go into the half and regroup. Let's just talk it over a little bit. I wonder, partner, was the analytics coach in his head a little bit? Maybe go ahead and press it and try and get some points? While the old school coach probably would have said, take the knee, let's get out of here.
Now we could see points the other way here. Now with 5 seconds left, not really enough time to run another play and then stop it. So on comes the field goal unit. Patterson's kick is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
So still a little bit of time following the made field goal, but we are tied as the kick's away. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. Oh, and a nice return, but he takes a big shot at the end of it. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Well, the first half, very even. I mean, really, in all facets, this ball game tied, Charles. So as we start the third quarter, curious to see what the second half brings us.
Certainly am. I'm with you on that one, and we all know a lot of coaches from the NFL all the way down to the Pee-wee level. They love to spin it to their teams. Hey, we're starting a brand new, shorter ball game. It's all even. Let's go out and seize it. This is ours.
Well, they're in some hot water now after that sack. It's 2nd and 21. Man open downfield. It's Metcalf. Down the left sideline. And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. DK Metcalf. 81 yards. And the Seahawks come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the third quarter. Extra point try now for Patterson. He's got it as they go up by a total of 17-10. Now Pinion with the kickoff honors following the touchdown. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. And this game was all square at halftime, but now they find themselves down 7 following the opening drive touchdown here in the third quarter.
And they need to take a good, relaxing, deep breath, don't you think? Because right now they might start to feel like they've got to play catch-up here and start matching them point for point. But it's still too early to get there. They can still run their offense. Plenty of time to get back in this game.
Here's Jackson to throw. Open man here is Conklin. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. The extra effort after the catch makes it good for a gain of 26 and also a first down.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Now it's Jackson. That's to the former Cardinal and Raven. It's Hollywood Brown. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 12 more yards there and another first down.
You always worry about those smaller receivers running through that gnarly patch of land in the middle of the field. But he did a really nice job there holding on to the football and protected himself as best he could while completing the play.
On the counter, it's Walker. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
2nd and 7, operating from the 34. Here's Jackson. This will be caught by Brown. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 22-yard line. Up the middle they run. It's Walker. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
2nd and 6. Sticking with Walker on second down. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Kenneth Walker, his 5th rushing touchdown now on the year. And the Falcons are an extra point away from drawing level. So a strong drive here to lead off this third quarter. That has them an extra point away from tying things up.
And, partner, this is pretty much what they envisioned when they were sitting there in the locker room thinking about getting things going to start here in the third quarter. Getting out there, a field goal would have been fine. But going ahead and scoring here, an extra point away from tying things up, that's exactly how they drew it up on the board.
Nothing separating these two teams on the scoreboard as the kick's away here. Oh, and some hitting going on now. This has been a tight game, and he takes a big shot there on the return. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And these two teams have traded touchdowns so far with their first possessions here in the third quarter, so we're right back to where we started at intermission.
Yeah, how about that? Tied at the half, tied after the first two drives of the third quarter, one for each. That tells me that someone's defense has got to step up and make a big play and try and change the momentum of this game.
Here we go, son.
Here's Fields. They'll set up the screen to Taylor. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now third down coming up.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
You got a mini base. Hey, Monday. Right.
Here's Fields. Able to find the open man. That's complete. Down the left sideline. And finally taken down at the 20-yard line. It's a big play there for Seattle. 55 yards.
They made that way too easy for them. No one is supposed to be that open against an NFL defense. Once he caught the ball, there wasn't anybody close enough to stop him. And he was able to continue downfield after making the catch.
First and 10, Taylor now. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose one or two. So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on second down and 11.
Here we go.
They run once more with Taylor. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Sets him up nicely. First and goal. It was a pickup of 14.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Back now here on EA Sports. All even as we get ready to start the fourth. And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's second and goal. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter.
Here we go, son. Right.
Now it's Fields off the bootleg. And this is going to be intercepted. And the Falcons are going to take over here on the INT at their own 5-yard line.
Partner, I think this one went awry very simply because he overestimated his arm strength and his ability to fit it anywhere he wants to. A lot of quarterbacks do that and often pay the price.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And the question, can they turn that interception into points? A tie game for the moment in the fourth quarter. And a short gain here as he gets it up only to about the 6. Defensively, Sam Hubbard, the former Buckeye, there to stop him.
That first down play, all you want to do is wedge out any type of space and try and create enough room. If you have to run the punter out there, he can successfully complete the punt.
Yeah, didn't get a ton there, but at least some positive yardage. To throw is Jackson. And this one incomplete. Threw it down at the feet of his receiver.
I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, fourth quarter. Maybe you do start to watch. Is the arm there, the leg's still there? This has been a tough game. And this offense on third down today, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Straight ahead, Walker. And he'll be taken down for a loss back at the 3. Not at all what they envisioned on third down. 3 yards in the wrong direction. Now here's Michael Dixon. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. And he's able to get it out quickly, and this is not a bad kick here. And he'll take it on this side of midfield. Pushing his way through. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. So a good punt there, but a very strong 14-yard return. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Here we go.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And his throw here is incomplete.
He didn't just deny a big throw there. He broke that one up in the red zone. An excellent play, one that may help save points on the board when this drive is over.
Now a 2nd and 10. Off play action. Fields rolling to his left. Well, took a real chance with that one, but it's incomplete.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
On the very outer edge of field goal range, it would be 56 yards if they got nothing here on 3rd down. Now it's Fields. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Here's Bradley Pinion now as he's on to punt for Seattle. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Tie game, 4th quarter, and they're going for this thing on 4th down. They snap it to Fields. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And incomplete on the deep ball. The Seahawks go for it but can't convert. And the Falcons defense stands tall. They'll get the football back. Boy, an incredibly aggressive move to go for it there. Game tied 4th quarter. You got to be surprised.
I am, and I know that we're in a new era of football where we look at the analytics sometimes, and a lot of time the analytics tell you to go for it, right? But do the analytics take into account game situation, where we are, all those things? In this situation, I thought it was an incredibly aggressive play.
It didn't work out, and again, tie game 4th quarter. Makes this thing a little bit more interesting. Sticking with Walker on second down. And a lane slow and materializing there as he'll get maybe a yard up to the 45.
And this is why aggressive defense coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
This a big play for both sides. What will we see here? 3rd and 4. Now it's Jackson. And this pass broken up. And the contact well timed there. And now 4th down.
Good clean play. No flags coming out of the pocket of the officials. Turns into an incompletion. And that should get them off the field with a 3 and out.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Excellent job by their defense to force the punt and provide them with this opportunity, all tied in the 4th quarter. Down the right sideline, and he will finally be escorted out of bounds down inside the 35. 79 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ballgame.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10. Down at the 31. Again, it's Taylor. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I know they've got to be careful not to go to the well too often, but it's a fine line, isn't it? Because sometimes, if you've got success, you want to just keep pounding away.
But no success there. They rallied quickly on the defensive end. Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss.
Here we go.
Up the middle, here's Taylor.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
Getting down to the good stuff, all tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. They've got a 3rd down, but they are in field goal range already. So 7 yards from the 1st down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. On 3rd down, here's Taylor. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. Have to kick this field goal, don't you?
No question about it. Look at the clock. Look at the situation. Kick the field goal.
Patterson's kick is good. And they have taken the lead here in the final 2 minutes. Big kick right there to give them the lead in the 4th, but there is still time left for a final drive.
Did they score too soon? Post-game will tell us, right? Depending on what happens on this drive, that's how we'll analyze it. If the other team scores, they scored too soon. If they somehow hold on, they've managed the clock exactly right.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. They'll come up 1st and 10 here. They'll run with Walker to begin the drive. And he's got some space here. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
Now you're right on the edge of field goal range. You've still got time, but get up to the line of scrimmage and get set.
Just the one timeout remaining as they try to navigate this 2-minute drill. 1st and 10. Again, it's Walker. And great blocking downfield as he's got this almost to the 35-yard line.
Partner, you got to like what they're doing right there. Little by little, they're getting closer. Another good pickup.
Here's 1st down. Up the middle, here's Walker. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
I know they got a little yardage there, but I'm not sure their investment is right. They're still running the football, and I'm not sure there's enough time to continue to do that.
Now Jackson. And he's got his big tight end here. And with just inside of 10 seconds to go, they'll burn their final timeout. 9 seconds left. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. And we've got a timeout. 9 seconds remaining. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to potentially send us to overtime. And his kick here is good. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds. So a money kick there in the final seconds. And now, barring any hijinks on the kickoff here, partner, I think you and I, we're going to settle in for a little overtime.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been a dogfight all through regulation. No reason to think it won't continue in the extra period.
And we will not have a run back here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 20-yard line. Here's 1st and 10.
Here we go.
Now Fields. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And this one is incomplete. So 4 quarters wasn't enough, and we are off to overtime. Don't change that dial. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
So it's the Seahawks who are going to get the first crack at things. They'll possess it to start things off here in overtime. And he's able to get it across the 20 to the 25-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Well, they fought hard to reach this point, Charles, and now what an opportunity. They've got the ball first, a chance to take this overtime win away from the hostile crowd.
And you know, as the quarterback steps into the huddle, the first thing he's telling his team is, remember, we need 6, not 3. So we don't need a good drive. We need a great drive. And this is what they've been planning for. It's time to execute and take it downfield, even against all these odds.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line.
Here we go.
Back to throw. Fields. He'll find his man. That's Taylor again. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 12 more yards for him there. It's a first down. Back-to-back completions, and that puts them in enemy territory.
And we're always looking for that elusive term, momentum, aren't we? And I think they're building it with the back-to-back completions. Now they feel like they can either take a shot or continue to build it the way that they're doing now. Safe throws, get it to their playmakers, and see what happens.
Fields now to throw. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. That would have set him back nearly 10 yards here on first down on the sack.
Well, he was really focused downfield, but there was really no viable options. The coverage was too good.
And the defense really quickened the tempo of that play with their pass rush because there was nowhere for him to go with the football. The only place he ended up, down on the ground.
Hey, can't. That's right. Right.
Fields. He's going to wind up and air it out. And this is caught. A huge play there in overtime. 56 yards. So often in overtime, Charles, games are won or lost on one big play. That might have been that big play right there.
And the ability to execute it despite the stakes, because let's face it, we've been there before, and we've seen guys, maybe they hyperventilate a little bit when it's their opportunity. Not in this situation. They executed it calmly, and they really got it done.
And now they're set up in prime position. He's had some big runs in this game. Not there, though.
But I don't think they're going to be deterred by that play right there. He's had some nice runs in the game, and how many times have we seen a good running back get stopped, yet turn it into something big on a later carry? I'd stay with him.
2 minutes left in this overtime session, and still all tied. We'll play only the one overtime here. If time runs out, it'll be a tie as they come up on second down. Again, it'll be Taylor, and he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5.
We all know how much running backs love getting the ball down near the goal line. They think they're going to find a way into the end zone. He hasn't had that kind of luck so far. Ends up not getting in on the last 2 carries. You know he's going to be upset about a missed opportunity.
Now Fields on 3rd and goal. Flushed out right. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Robert Spillane picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Now a timeout called for by the defense. They'll be down to just 1 remaining as we step aside here in overtime. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to at least get him a lead here in overtime.
Patterson's kick is good.
And they have regained the lead. They're able to put 3 on the board here on the opening drive of OT, and now up to their defense to try and see if they can hold this one.
I like how you framed it up because obviously this game is not over, right? They go down and kick a field goal, then we head to sudden death. But if the defense can hold, take the ball away, turn it over on downs, this game's over.
And he returns this to the 22.
The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive.
Well, it's pretty simple now. They need a field goal out of this drive to extend overtime, or obviously, Charles, a touchdown to win it.
Yeah, and I'm taking the defense's perspective on this one, partner, because now they know with a 3-point lead, they can afford to give that up because you just keep playing, right? The overtime gets extended. But if you give up the touchdown, it's game over. So on offense, every play you make, you've got to try and get just a little bit more out of each one in order to try and get to the end zone because they're going to play everyone back, keep everything in front.
A short throw to Conklin, the tight end.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Back Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
180.
Jackson. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. And with just 2 seconds remaining, the timeout is called here in OT. Offensively, back-to-back really nice plays. This defense, they've got 2 timeouts, maybe should burn one.
Yeah, when you get back-to-back explosive plays, to me, anything over 10 yards, I don't care if it's a run or a pass, I count it as an explosive play. That sets your defense back on its heels. A timeout here would be a good idea and try and get themselves settled because we're in OT. This is big time.
And he got it. It's good. They answer with a field goal of their own to send this game into sudden death. Well, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and very rarely in the National Football League you tie. But that's what we had here. Each team with a field goal in the extra session, but nobody could separate.
I'm glad you went in that direction because I thought the next thing was going to be, and sometimes it rains, but that's not really the case here, right? Look, if this is college football, they keep playing. You know, they're going to break that tie and continue to go how many overtimes it takes. Postseason football, we're still playing. But it's the regular season. You get 1 extra period to decide it. This one, we get field goals on each side. And guess what? The end result's the same. Tie, off we go. Let's move on to the next one.
That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.